Baseball fans, you're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Welcome into On Deck. As always, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Really do appreciate it. While you're here, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so that you can stay up to date with everything going on here at On Deck, and of course, with your Atlanta Braves. And the Atlanta Braves dropped a major bombshell last night as it was announced that the organization made a trade with the Chicago White Sox for lefty reliever Aaron Bummer. And this one caught a lot of people off guard, mainly due to the names that the Braves sent to the White Sox in exchange for Bummer. The Braves traded away Jared Shuster, right-handed pitcher Michael Soroka, infielder Nicky Lopez, infielder Braden Shewmake, and minor league pitcher Riley Gowens. Now, I will tell you this. I understand why this has been polarizing. I understand why a lot of people are scratching their heads at this. And I think the main reason is the name value, right? I just read off them very quickly, but Jared Shuster, Michael Soroka, Nicky Lopez, even Braden Shewmake, they all have a lot of name value. Braden Shewmake, big-time prospect with the Braves. You know, it was thought that it would be either him or Vaughn Grissom taking over the mantle after Dansby Swanson. That hasn't happened yet for either player, but that could happen in the future. In terms of Braden Shewmake, I think what it comes down to is one, him or Vaughn Grissom had to go because otherwise you're clogging up your minor leagues with two guys that, frankly, could play in the major leagues on any other team right now, I think. Braden Shewmake will likely start in Chicago in replacement of Tim Anderson. Nicky Lopez, this is a guy that caught a lot of people off guard. The non-tender deadline was today. And I think that Nicky Lopez was probably going to find himself in that list, along with Michael Soroka, which is going to make a lot of people upset. But think about it. Nicky Lopez, for all of what we like about Nicky Lopez, and I really liked the pickup at the trade deadline for Nicky Lopez. He's got a great glove. I think he's a good hitter. He's a consistent hitter, and I thought he fit well with the team. But he's also not someone that I thought was a necessity, like a lot of our other players are that are locked up long term. I think he's a piece that can afford to be moved to get a deal done like this. Michael Soroka, this is kind of the hardest one because of what Soroka has been through. We have followed Soroka for a long time, hoping that maybe one day he'll make it back to the major leagues at, a consistent pace. Because Soroka, when he came to the league, when he was a part of the team originally, he was destined to be what Max Fried is right now. He was at that level, and he had so much promise until the Achilles injury happened. And that's what was so upsetting. He's done everything he can to get back to where he used to be. And I'm not saying that that's done. He very well might find his way on his feet with the White Sox. You will never hear me not rooting for Michael Soroka. I think he's still got a lot of promise, but the Braves have moved on. But what the Braves did do is they threw Nicky Lopez and Michael Soroka into this pile to make it more appealing and to get Aaron Bummer. And the real one that I think was surprising was not Michael Soroka. It was not Nicky Lopez, Braden Shewmake, or minor league pitcher Riley Gowens. The real surprise here was Jared Shuster. First-round draft pick for the Braves a few years ago. You thought that's who they were going to be kind of hanging their hat on, and it just wasn't meant to be. Jared Shuster never really made his way into the major league rotation for any length of time, but you thought maybe in a couple of years, maybe this will be, the guy that they are able to turn to and use in the future. Kyle Wright is a good example of that. Maybe he hadn't found his footing in the major leagues yet, but maybe he will. And I think the Braves have just kind of realized that they can't wait that long. They are in a win-now mode, and they got to get somebody to help them win now. Jared Shuster, all due respect, I don't think is that guy. That's why they signed Charlie Morton. That's why they just traded for Aaron Bummer. It's no secret that the Braves needed lefty relievers this past season. A.J. Minter was left on an island all by himself for a large part of the year. They were down Tyler Matzik. They still may be down Tyler Matzik in 2024. That's yet to really be confirmed whether or not he's coming back yet, or will he even be the same. But they needed to add lefty relievers. I told you that at the trade deadline. They tried it with Brad Hand, didn't get what they wanted. because they didn't tender Brad Hand either. They also lost Kirby Yates by non-tendering him. They lost Colin McHugh. So they lost a lot of bullpen arms. And, it was fair to say that they needed to lose some of those arms, and maybe all of them. They certainly thought that it wasn't worth picking up the contract, right? So now they're looking elsewhere. And Aaron Bummer, it may not attract a lot of you guys to be excited about, but I think Aaron Bummer could very well have a lot of success in an Atlanta Braves uniform. There is a guy on there that we will talk in depth about, Aaron Bummer, that I think he's drawing interest already from multiple clubs, according to MLB trade rumors anyway. He's a guy that I think the Braves could go at. He is a left-handed pitcher. His ERA is not necessarily you're going to look at his ERA and wonder why I'm even promoting this. But his FIP, of course, which is fielding independent pitching, his FIP is a lot better. It's about a 2.2, 2.4 FIP. So Aaron Bummer could be a guy that you bring in. He's also got one of the worst defenses behind him. So that's, of course, not helping his case. So I think Aaron Bummer could be a good pickup for the Braves if they were able to do it. Considering that Aaron Bummer's been playing in front of the worst defense in baseball, I can't really hold ERA against him completely, especially when his FIP, his fielding independent percentage, is 358. So his ERA cut in half is what it should be. He's got 12 strikeouts per 9. That's really good. I like that. His barrel percentage is 2.7%. That's in the 99th percentile among pitchers in baseball. His ground ball rate of 60.1% was in the 97th percentile. So what he is, he's a guy with a lot of break. He's a guy with a lot of ground balls. He doesn't see a lot of barrels. He doesn't see a lot of homers. And that's the key to me, right? That's who he needs to be. And with the Braves, he can be that guy. He can rely on his defense more. And I think that, getting on a better team is going to help him a lot. I think the Braves see the opportunity to get a lefty reliever for really not all that much. I mean, yeah, they traded away, again, a lot of name value, but I don't think they traded away a lot of trade value. There's a difference. And I mean that with all due respect to each and every one of these players. But Nicky Lopez is who he is. Michael Soroka hasn't been who he's supposed to be for some time now. Jared Shuster, he's the big surprise in this trade, and I still am not overly surprised. Starting pitching is a concern for sure, especially without Kyle Wright this year. So losing a starting pitcher like Jared Shuster is a little concerning, but I also don't think the Braves are done. I think Atlanta is going to target starting pitching this offseason in one shape or another. I also think they're going to target left field. But they could also save money in left field by putting Vaughn Grissom out there for the time being and spending money on starting pitching. That very well could be the case. As of right now, I don't love this trade. I don't hate this trade. I think we have to kind of wait to see how it turns out. If all of these guys go to Chicago and are, hitting on all cylinders, maybe we look back and say, man, that's just the one where Alex Anthopoulos, whiffed. But he hasn't done that yet. I don't think this is a whiff. I think it's a solid move. I think Aaron Bummer could be very comparable to Pierce Johnson last year. At the trade deadline, we landed Pierce Johnson, and a lot of folks didn't love the move because he had an ERA north of 6 in Colorado. But again, much like Aaron Bummer here, Pierce Johnson didn't have the best defense behind him, didn't have the best ballpark to pitch in. There were factors that contributed. And now Pierce Johnson went from having a 6 ERA in Colorado to having a .76 ERA in Atlanta for the second half of the season. So I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Aaron Bummer. I'm not a fortune teller, but I'm just saying this is not unprecedented. And overall, again, it's hard to know how this is going to turn out. I like the fact that we're being aggressive early in the trade market, in the free agent market possibly. I think that there's going to be a lot more to come, and I'm excited for it. But for now, let me know what you think about this trade down in the comment section below. If you liked baseball content, if you liked this video, please do press the like button. Really helps us out. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, hit the bell for notifications. For now, though, we're going to wrap it up here at On Deck. We'll see you later.
Baseball fans, Make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.